And hello, welcome back, one and all, to Starlight Beacon, the show where we guide you through that galaxy far, far away, or at least I will today, since I will be the only one, I believe, on the show. Oh, happy New Year! First of all, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody. It's been a long time. Took a what 1 or 2 week hiatus from the show. Spent time with family. Had a blast. It was a wonderful holiday. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday as well. Oh man, what a great, wonderful break I had. Yeah, so today I kind of sort of wanted to talk about the High Republic stuff, but let me know in the comment sections how mm, comment section, excuse me, how you all are doing today. How was your holiday? How was your New Year's? I hope it was safe for everyone. Hope everybody had a wonderful time. Uh, Hope everything is good with everyone. It's been a while. Uh, since we had a stream. But yeah, so the topic of tonight is going to be the High Republic um, novel and comic book samples that Disney and Lucasfilm released. They released like a few chapters for each of their books in their upcoming High Republic series that will be launching this month and in February. And I also believe, wait, what was there was another book too. I want to say, I think the Test of Courage. No, yeah. Okay, so the third book they didn't release. Okay, so yeah. So the High Republic, Light of the Jedi comes out in January, and I believe a Test of Courage also will be coming out in January. Into the Dark is coming out later. That's a February release. Okay, let me check the release dates on all of these. Should have pulled that up. Test of Courage comes out when? This is January. Okay, so yeah. So all the comic books and novels for the High Republic coming out between the months of January and February, starting on I believe January 15th, with the Light of the Jedi. Those books are available sampled. If you are in the Discord, I put a link to these samples in the Star Wars section. So go check those out. Go give those a read. They're wonderful. I thoroughly enjoyed those books and comic books, the samples that they released. They kind of, so basically the High Republic, it shines a light on this is the prime time of the Republic. Like this is the Jedi Order and the Republic at their best. This is their finest hour. And then there's an event known as the Great Disaster that happens, which is basically a ship is destroyed in hyperspace, like this big transport, passenger transport is destroyed on its way. I believe it's on its way to the Outer Rim, or it's on its way from the Outer Rim. I can't remember what direction, but it's destroyed while it's traveling through hyperspace. And all of these fragments and ships of the ship in large or small are traveling at light speed through hyperspace, destroying anything and everything in its path. Like it's hitting ships, they're hitting different planets, different systems. Like it's just absolute chaos. And it is an interesting thing that they've chosen because this is the catalyst, if you will, of this entire novelization and comic book series. Is based on this event. Like it's known as the Great Disaster. So what it essentially is like while the Republic is in its and during an expansion period into the Outer Rim, the Republic is trying to bring democracy basically to the Outer Rim territories and to the Outer Rim planets, which at this point in time, 200 years before A Phantom Menace, most of the Outer Rim is unknown to the Republic. So that's kind of where this entire storyline takes place. We get to see a host of new Jedi, which are very interesting characters. I mean, there's some young adult novels, and then there are some other novels that are for a much younger audience. It's something for everybody, really. And I read the two comic books in this preview, and as well as the three novels. And it's about, I would say, 2 to 3 chapters per novel, and then just a few panels of the comic books. Phenomenal. Like, I was thoroughly invested in this series based on what was discussed. Parco, my man, what's going on? Hey, first of all, congratulations on the new home. Uh, I know you can't join me today, but we'll see you next weekend on the stream. Definitely looking forward to you joining next week. We'll have another discussion about something. You know how I am with these topics on these Sundays. Uh, kind of last minute, kind of just going with the flow, if you will. Following the will of the Force, letting the Force guide me on what these topics are going to be. Um, but yeah, man. Hope maybe we can hop on next weekend and talk about that a little bit, and then go into some other topics. Star Wars related. Ma, what's up? Good to see you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Had a great time down there. I was visiting my parents for the New Year and for the Christmas holiday, and my family down there. It was wonderful time. Wonderful time. Uh, Thoroughly enjoyed. It was a good break. You know what I'm saying? From just kind of everything, kind of unplugged. Uh, no work emails, nothing work related, nothing as far as streaming, just none of that. Just kind of just took a break from everything, hung out, and just had a great time. It was a good holiday. Everybody will I think we'll probably be back on with the cookout next Saturday. And then we might have a Friday stream. I've got a video I think I'm going to be done with for Friday. And explore the lore video. So stay tuned for that. That'll probably I can finish that one before the end of the week. So look forward to that on Friday. It'll be on Thrawn, by the way. I don't know if I think I teased that in the Discord that I was going to do an explore the lore video on Thrawn. So that's finished. We're close to it. It's not finished. I'm lying. Getting ahead of myself. It's close to finish. I'm confident that I will have it finished, ready, and finalized, and ready to release on Friday. Callisto, hey, what's going on? Good to see you. Thank you. Oh, by the way, thank you for boosting the server, man. Callisto boosted the server, the Discord server for us. That was awesome. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate that. Elspeth is super helpful, man. Great, wonderful to have you in the community. We definitely appreciate you and all the support that you give, and everybody that watches this show and all the other shows that we have on this channel. We'll talk more about what we got planned, but we got some things in the works. So definitely looking forward to getting back on this weekly streaming platform that we've got here. Not only with the Star Wars stuff, but with the cookout, and then we got some Marvel stuff planned. We'll probably have some DC and some other things. I can't get into too much detail yet because we're still behind the scenes on a lot of it. So, but be on the lookout for it. We'll have a lot more content coming your way, especially if you're a fan of this channel, and hopefully we can grow. Our goal, like I've said multiple times, is that we are going to hit 1,000 subscribers by May or June. I'm aiming for May. And I think we can do that. I think we have a good strategy. We got a good core group. And I think we can execute. We're enjoying this. We're having a great time. I know based on the support that we've gotten that you guys are all enjoying it as well. So we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to bring more quality and just more overall content for you. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this year. 2021 is going to be a good one. Claiming it. But anyways, back to this High Republic stuff, man, because I don't know. Let me know in the comment section if you had a chance to read the samples. I did put these in the Discord. As I said, I'll put them back in there. I'm going to link that, as a matter of fact, to into the comment section if you give me a minute to find it. But these are really good reads. They're samples of these books and of this time period. Um, One thing I will say, I'm not going to get into spoilers, but one thing I did notice about this is that they talk about, you know, how the Jedi at this time are going to be very heroic, and this is going to be the Jedi Order at their best, as well as the Republic. And based on the introductions in these books, that has absolutely been the case. Like, um, all of the new Jedi that they've introduced, from Loden Greystar to Master Yoda to a lot of the younger Padawans and the other Jedi, prominent members of the Jedi Order at this time, they're all like very honorable and noble figures. So they're very, it's a stark contrast between these Jedi and the Jedi from the Clone Wars and from the prequels. They are kind of sort of the Jedi that we imagine the Jedi to be. Um, Watching the original trilogy, um, it does feel that way. Some interesting things. I'll talk briefly without getting into too many spoilers. The Vector Starfighter, which is that's the Jedi, their primary ship. It's a two-seater pilot, co-pilot configuration. But one interesting thing about it is that the weapon systems are disengaged until the Jedi who's piloting the ship inserts their lightsaber into, I guess, like whatever safety mechanism it is, because like they're supposed to be peacekeepers. So if they feel that they have to escalate the situation to a more lethal um uh negotiation, what did Anakin call them, aggressive negotiations, if they got to go into aggressive negotiations, then they insert their lightsaber into this into the ship in some capacity, and that unlocks the weapon systems. I thought that was a really cool detail that they added. um they've introduced a form of battle meditation, I want to say, but it's not like the traditional battle meditation of old. If you aren't familiar, battle meditation is a force ability that allowed Jedi of the Old Republic and Sith as well. Both sides used it. It's more of a neutral force ability. All it does is it bolsters the morale of the fighting force of your allies, as well as disorients the enemy and the whoever the hostile aggressors are, whether you're on the side of the Republic or the Sith. Whoever is in battle meditation, they you know this ability just bolsters the morale of your troops, and then it disorients the enemies. They'll see, like, the enemy combatants will see like ghosts of fighters that aren't really there. It's a weird, wild technique. It wasn't used a lot. There were only like a handful of Jedi and Sith that used it. Basta Lashan definitely specialized in it. Thank you, Callisto. Um, Naga Sadao, also on the Sith side, used it as well during the Great Hyperspace War. He used it in his assault on the Republic. Um, but it's a unique ability. They have to be in a meditative, like defenseless kind of position, so they can't actually be physically on the battlefield. They have to be kind of sort of away, you know, not on the front line, meditating, and because they have to stay in that trance basically. And if it's disrupted, then all of that goes away. The illusion is disrupted. So uh, it's a very cool thing. It's not exactly what we've are accustomed to with that. Uh, it's different in that it seems to connect the allied forces through the force. Like, whoever's in this battle meditation can sense where everyone else is on the battlefield. It's kind of like a hive mind. It's like a force hive mind, which I think is really cool. So everyone that's now connected to this battle meditation, if you will, can sense what everyone else is sensing on the battlefield. It's a really cool technique. It's a really cool ability. I believe I don't want to butcher her name. But I believe it's the yeah, Avar Chris, the female Jedi Knight, that she's pretty much the main hero in this um story, as from what I can tell. Um she's the one that uses this ability, and it's a very cool thing. I liked it. I liked what was covered in these novels, and in these comic book panels as well. Um, they introduced some new concepts and some new, uh, what to say, ranks, I guess, within the Jedi Order. One of the cool ones is a Jedi Wayfinder, which is basically a Force user that is, once you achieve the rank of Jedi Knight, you can choose how you are going to serve the Jedi Order. So basically, they put you on a career path. Basically, this is all these are, and you can try to become a master, and then eventually be sit on the council, and then maybe become a high council member, and then maybe eventually grand master. That's like the traditional route. You can become more of an instructor and a teacher. Um, but the Wayfinder is a cool thing. It's an undefined position within the order, and it basically allows a Jedi to explore the Force by just following the will of the Force. So they have, I think they have the most freedom within the order. Um, it seems as though Master Yoda, prior to this, I don't know if he's still, I don't think he is at this point in time, but he was at one point um, one of these Wayfinders. And there's another character that we're introduced to in these stories that is just beginning her adventure as a Wayfinder. And it's a really cool, I think, idea for a Jedi. Like, they just follow the will of the Force. So, like, they just trust the Force completely, and however or whatever the Force deems they do, that's what they do. So, if, it's kind of like a Qui-Gon type of feel. Like, if they sleep one day in the temple, and all of a sudden they get this sense that they need to be on another planet, they just go, and they just they're there, and they do what they need to do. um and they might leave out from the temple, and you know we may not see them for like 10 to 20 years. It's a really cool um it's a really cool thing, man. The Jedi Order at this time period is like, it's almost like a college. Like, it's a very, I want to say, not to get political, but it's kind of like a liberal environment, like a very liberal school. Like, they're kind of just like, yeah, man, you know, the Force, the will of the Force is all that matters. Like, you serve the light, as long as you serve the light side of the Force, and understand that the will of the Force is the ultimate master. Like, they don't care what you do. And I think that's a really cool um it's a really cool structure, and I hope that we see more of this time period, because that is kind of sort of the um it is, I haven't, of course, I don't have these novels. I don't have early access. It's just these samples that they released. Based on that read, it's a really cool concept that I want to see in explored more, even outside of the novels. um Trying to think, I don't we weren't introduced to the Nile directly, like within the samples, but you kind of get the sense that they are behind whatever's going on. Um, the incident, the Great Disaster, was no accident. Like, this is something that um, is intentional, and I believe that the Nile are behind it. Or at least that's what they seem to be implying from this. What's the time period? So the time period is 200 years prior to A Phantom Menace. So Yoda is actually about what, six? He'd be about 600 years old. So he's still an older, and he is a master. we do see him. He is in the comic book. Let me get the name of that one. But he is not on the council. Here's a cool thing about Yoda during this time period. Yoda is not actually, he's not even sitting on the high council. Like, he's not even a council member at this time. He's just a Jedi master. Like, he's, I'm not sure what his stance is at this point in time, but he doesn't seem interested in being a council member. Like, he is purely a teacher. Like, he's dedicated 100% to the students and to the younglings. And okay, no, it's not that one. I believe it's the There Is No Fear, I want to say, is the book, or is the comic book series that he is featured in, or is it Adventures #1? I'm not sure, but it's one of the new comic book series. M. Pulley, I hope I said that correctly. Welcome, nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Just talking about the High Republic novels and stuff, and the comic book series, the samples that they released. I read through them all over break, and I'm just talking about them. Yeah. Okay, so it is the High Republic Adventures comic book series. It's that novel. I mean, not novel, but a comic book that Yoda is featured in, and I think he is on the ship. You remember, if you watch the Clone Wars, the ship with the droid, when Ahsoka is they're you know, there's the younglings, they go to Ilum and they have to find their lightsaber crystals. That ship is in this book, and Yoda is on it. Like, he's doing his thing. He's teaching, and I think that droid is also featured in it, if I'm not mistaken. But all of this is happening while the Great Disaster is happening. And to further explain what this Great Disaster is, something was hurled along the path of a cargo passenger ship headed to the Outer Rim, or headed back from the Outer Rim. And they dodge whatever this obstruction is, but in the process, because they're traveling at, like, I think faster than the speed of light, the ship is an older ship and it rips itself apart, and the shrapnel and the pieces of the ship are now traveling faster than the speed of light through hyperspace and falling out on different systems, causing this like huge cataclysmic galactic event. Like, I mean, it's multiple systems are involved. These huge chunks of this ship are crashing on the surface of planets, like causing massive devastation. They're hitting different installations like spaceports and space stations, other ships that are traveling through hyperspace. It is a great disaster. Like, it's one of the wildest events, and it's not something that we kind of talk about much in Star Wars. It's like, we don't really look at what would the effects be if a ship were destroyed while traveling through hyperspace. Because these are basically, hyperspace lanes are basically like highways. Like, they're the main interstate from one system to another, and so there's a huge volume of traffic flowing on these hyperspace lanes. So if there's shrapnel traveling, that's something that most ships are not going to, and navigational systems aren't going to be able to account for. And so these ships that are traveling through hyperspace being struck by other pieces of debris and are being destroyed, as well as planets. It's a wild series of events. Yoda teaches how to build. Not in this instance. Like, the Jedi basically are always, they're like this first response unit almost for the Republic, and for the Republic military as well. Anytime that there's a disaster or some sort of humanitarian well, not humanitarian crisis, but I guess what species crisis, they are the first responders. They're the first ones to show up. They try to find a peaceful resolution to the issue, and then they're on. They go about their business. And so they're the first ones to respond. The Republic military is also active during this time period. However, they have this partnership with the Jedi Order where if the Jedi feel it necessary to take control of whatever mission, like if the Jedi are on their mission and the Republic is also there, and the Jedi need the Republic military's resources, they can take command of the Republic military. They ask permission, and the transition power is handed to them in that moment. And then after it's over, they're relieved and they return command back to the Republic. It's different from the Clone Wars. Like they're not in command of the army. They're not in command of the Republic military. The military is its own thing. The Jedi Order, it's its own thing, and they only do this when there's a joint mission. Like, so it's a really cool time period. Like, it allows the Jedi to be the peacekeepers they need to be, and it also gives room for the Republic to act as they feel or deem necessary without the Jedi, I guess, philosophy interfering with military matters. That was a big complaint during the Clone Wars, especially with like Ahsoka and other members of the Council that see and the Jedi Order that saw, and Anakin as well, but they saw the limitations of the Jedi Order acting as a military leadership because they are peacekeepers. Like they are not supposed to be soldiers and on the front lines fighting a war. They're supposed to be finding the peaceful resolution to the war. So that is not the case with this time period. Like they are acting as peacekeepers always. That goes back to their ships, those vector starships. Those weapon systems are automatically disengaged, and the Jedi has to actively remove their lightsaber from their hilt and insert it into some mechanism on the ship. And when they do that, then that engages the weapon systems. Then they're authorized to use whatever force they deem necessary. They can also control the amount of damage that their ships deal. Uh, they've got ion cannons that disable combatants' ships so that they can, make a non-violent, well, not non-violent, but a non-lethal arrest if they need to. They've got a lot of fail safes, and it's going to be interesting to see how they transition from this version of themselves to what we see in the prequels, because this Jedi Order is not at all what we got in the prequels, and that is the allure of this entire initiative that Lucasfilm is doing. And there's a lot more Jedi too. Like during the Clone Wars, there were about 10,000 Jedi Knights. There are over 200,000 Jedi Knights during this time period. So their numbers are massive. Like they've got temples all over the galaxy. Yeah, it's just a different time period. Like there's the division that is there on the temple at Coruscant. They've got their temple in Tython and Octo and other areas across the galaxy. They're probably, I don't know how active they are. They're probably active on Ilum. Starlight Beacon is also active. They just launched Starlight Beacon, so now there's a lot of Jedi being transferred to that station. In the comic book that Yoda is featured in, they are debating on who should be the leader of the Starlight Beacon. I believe Yoda is nominated, but he turns it down because all he's interested in during this time period is teaching students. And I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but it's a cool thing that he does. I feel where when this great disaster happens, they are aware of it, and he's got a ship full of younglings, and he knows that although they may not be combatants, there's not always a need to fight. So he chooses to, put them in action. Like, all right, we can find if there's some lives that we can save while we're on this mission, then that's what we're going to do. So they depart from whatever their primary objective was to go to a nearby system to provide aid and support to the residents, help people evacuate if they need to. That's a it's a really interesting um, it's just a really interesting storyline. Like all of these books, there are three novels and then two comic books, um, all different stories, different Jedi, but they all are experiencing this great disaster from a different system, and so we get different perspectives of this event. Um, and they're all their responses are different. Um, it's just it's a really cool. Like I enjoyed reading all these novels. Like there are young adult novels to more children's novels, but even that was very uh, entertaining for me. Yeah, 200,000. Nice. Looking for all different. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of species. I mean, there's a Trandoshan Jedi Master. There's a couple Wookiee Jedi Masters. There's like every species from the Star Wars universe is a Jedi at this point in time. Like there's it's a very diverse order and time period. The Republic is different. Like we don't have Palpatine in charge. Like the Supreme Chancellor is a very um, noble and ambitious leader. It's a very I like it, man. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I highly recommend everybody go and check it out if they haven't. Uh, Let me find. Like I said, I got distracted talking about it, but I'm gonna drop the link into it. But yeah, hey, ask me some questions while I go search for this link to these novels. If you got any questions about what I just talked about, let's see here. Looking forward to see. Yeah, yeah, you're going to get a lot of that, and I don't know how many novels and how many comic books they have planned, but it being 200 years prior to the Clone Wars means that they've got a lot of uh they got a long leash and a lot of things that they can cover during this time period. Okay, did I not put this in here? Let me see. I know where else I can go to pull it. Alrighty, here it is. I'm going to drop that in there. Okay, I just put the sample link into the comment section if you want to check that out. Definitely. I highly recommend it just to see. And, you can, I think the first book comes out January 15th, and it's The Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. Definitely check that out. But yeah, like what else? Okay, so Loden Greystar is the Jedi. He's the Grand Master of the Jedi Order, and he's a Twi'lek Jedi Master, and he's a very cool teacher. Like he's featured in the Light of the Jedi. He's got a Padawan with him, um, as they're going to help this planet that is being bombarded with debris from the ship from the Great Disaster, and they're flying down to the planet surface to help and to help people to evacuate the planet because that's their primary mission is of course to save as many lives as they can. And as he's piloting towards the planet, he's supposed to be like one of the greatest pilots in the Jedi Order at this time period, and he showcases that in the novel. um he tells his Padawan basically, all right, he has this philosophy basically of I can't tell you everything. Like you got to do things. Like it's easier for you to learn these lessons if you do them yourself than have me tell you like what to do. So he basically They're headed to planet surface, and he's like, "All right, reach out with the Force and tell me where I need to go." And so he tells the Padawan doubts himself, of course, and then he builds his confidence, and just basically, hey, you can do this. Reach out with the Force and let me know where I need to go. So the Padawan reaches out with the Force, and he senses a disturbance on a certain region, and Loden senses it as well. And I think there's like it's narrated from Loden's perspective and from the Padawan's perspective, and he can sense that he and his Padawan both sense the same disturbance. So they go to this location, and there is basically this luxury yacht that has capacity to transport quite a number of civilians, but they're not admitting any passengers other than the whoever is being paid. And so that's kind of sort of where that leaves off. They land, and they're going to head into the to this location to find out why this luxury liner isn't allowing more passengers onto the um, escaping ship. So that is stuff like that where they're being very heroic and um, trying to figure out ways to bring a peaceful resolution without violence. So I'm digging it, man. I really am. I'm really digging this. Did you see some bounty hunters or some other scum and villainy? No, they don't mention it, but they do mention the Nile. Well, not directly, but the Nile are going to be this. That's the main one of the main villains of this franchise of this time period. Um, and they are the basically scum and villainy. They're kind of like, I believe they compared them to Vikings. So they're the Star Wars version of Vikings, basically, if you will. Like um, they don't like the Republic, they don't like the Jedi, they don't like the Republic expansion into the Outer Rim, and they're fighting it actively. So that's where the conflict comes in. Um, the novelization of the Light of the Jedi leaves off on a cliffhanger, and it's a very interesting predicament. I'm not going to talk about it because there's no way I can talk about it without spoiling it for you all. But I want you all to read that Light of the Jedi first. I think that's the first one it starts out with when you open that sample. It's actually it's quite a few chapters, and where it leaves off is it's a cliffhanger. And I was like, yeah, I can't. I pre-ordered the book immediately after I read it because it was like, yeah, I need to know what happens next. I did that for all 5 of the featured novels and comics in this in that sample pack that I dropped in the comments. So definitely check that out. Join the Discord too, because I would love to talk to you guys further about it. When you get a chance, if you aren't in the Discord, I'm going to drop a link to that as well. So yeah, man, join us in the Discord server if you haven't already. Come to the Star Wars section. Let me know when you've read it, and we can talk about these samples in the Discord later. But yeah, this is primarily what I want to talk about today. I wanted to get in front of the camera because it's been first stream of 2021. Had to talk some Star Wars. I've very much enjoyed these novels, so I wanted to get on the stream, talk to you all about it, share the link so that you can go check it out because I highly recommend it. Like I said, the Explore the Lore video is coming out. I'm aiming for Friday. It will be featuring Thrawn. So if you want to know more about the canonical story of Thrawn up to this point, that's including Rebels, the new Thrawn trilogy, and the Chiss Ascendancy novel, all of that will be covered in I try to do these videos in like 5 minutes or less. So if you want to just an overview of this character, I believe he's going to be featured heavily in the Ahsoka show that's coming to Disney Plus, as well as maybe season 3 of um, The Mandalorian. Still riding super high on that season finale of season 2 of The Mandalorian. Man, that was awesome to see Luke Skywalker at the end of that. That was such a joy. But yeah, thank you all for joining me on this stream. It's a very short stream. Uh, didn't have too much to talk about. There's not really much going on in the way of news. I'm definitely going to revisit these stories once the books come out and they can have a in-depth conversation about the full book. I'll definitely hop back on and stream. I'm going to come back here next Sunday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to do another Star Wars related stream. Parco will be joining me, and yeah, that's I'm going to probably wrap this one here. Yeah, so make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share these videos. If you're new to the channel, go check out some of our other content. But definitely want to say to everyone watching, appreciate you all for continuing to support this channel and helping us grow. We hit 114 subscribers before Christmas, and our goal was to hit 100 before, so we went above that, and I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. On behalf of the Gumbo team, gonna have a strong 2021, man. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you once again for the support. And like I always say, peace, love, blessings, and may the force be with you.